My wife has asked me for an open marriage, but I told her it wasn't necessary because we were already finished, and she was free to go with whoever was waiting for her. A few days ago, my soon-to-be ex-wife Marcia, 25 years old, and I, 26, had a big argument due to my accusations about her infidelity. We had been married for 2 years, and in total, we had been together for 4 years. However, in recent months, her behavior had become increasingly suspicious. Apparently, she is having an affair with one of her coworkers. It all started with the usual signs: coming home late every day, staying up late texting someone, always claiming it was work-related, and acting strangely. At first, I didn't even think she could be having an affair. I simply believed she was stressed from work, and that explained her behavior. But everything changed 2 weeks ago. While Marcia was in the shower, her phone started vibrating. The name of a coworker I know appeared on the screen, someone I've seen a few times with Marcia. I decided to answer to tell her that Marcia was busy and should call back later. But as soon as I answered, Marcia yelled something from the shower that I didn't understand. And on the other end of the line, a male voice asked if she wanted to have lunch the next day. When I was about to respond that Marcia was busy, the person abruptly hung up. When Marcia came out of the shower, I confronted her about what had happened. To my surprise, she didn't seem uncomfortable at all. She simply said that she probably made a mistake saving the contact, and that the person I'd spoken to was another coworker who possibly wanted to organize a lunch with a client. She was so calm that I almost started to think maybe everything was normal. However, for the rest of the day I couldn't get it out of my head. That's when I began to seriously consider the possibility that she was being unfaithful to me. I tried talking to her several times about it in the following days, but she constantly ignored me, saying that I was overthinking things. Since she wasn't willing to address my concerns, my suspicion only grew. I decided to investigate a little more to ease my mind. I tried checking her phone while she slept, looking for suspicious messages or calls, but I guess she had started to be more careful because I found nothing conclusive. Every time I tried to talk to her about this, she ignored me, and I started feeling like I was going crazy. A couple of days ago, Marcia sat me down very seriously, thinking we would finally have an honest conversation to resolve everything. Instead of addressing my concerns, she told me that she had been feeling very stressed at work, and that she felt our marriage had lost its spark. She also mentioned that perhaps we were both too young, and should explore our lives before fully committing. That was all I needed to hear. I immediately told her that we didn't need to get into any kind of open marriage arrangement, because she was free to leave with whomever she wanted. I told her that I knew all about her coworker, that she was having an affair, and although I didn't have tangible proof, I just knew it. I explained that she was free to leave with him and not worry about our marriage or hiding it because I planned to file for divorce. Marcia started yelling at me, insisting that I had no idea what I was talking about and that she had always been faithful to me. Yeah, right, what fidelity? Once again, I brought up the phone call, but she continued denying everything, saying I was being paranoid and exaggerating. I told her it didn't matter, because even suggesting an open marriage was an insult to me. The fight escalated quickly, with lots of insults, and eventually, Marcia packed her bags and left furiously. I didn't stop her. It's been 3 days since we last spoke, since that explosive conversation. I think, in a way, I gave her exactly what she wanted. A free pass to be with her lover, though I didn't expect to give her the divorce as well. Update 1. I've emotionally dragged myself toward her, but now I'm pretty sure, or at least surer than before, that she was cheating on me. She was just upset because I caught her. Her anger didn't stem from doubting her fidelity, but because she thought I would swallow all her lies. I talked to my parents about this, and they suggested finding a good lawyer. I trust their judgment, because my father used to work at a law firm before he retired. So I guess I don't have to worry too much about the legal side of things. Even so, it hasn't been easy for me. The more I think about it, the more I realize how I was manipulated. Some part of me, deep down, still wanted to believe that maybe she wasn't cheating on me, and that there was an innocent explanation for all this. But after she suggested an open marriage, there's no room for doubt. I may lack tangible evidence, but honestly, I don't think it's necessary. Besides, I could never accept something like an open marriage. I don't know what society is promoting that idea, but it's not something that aligns with me. Those who want to try it are free to do so, but at least they shouldn't be liars like my soon-to-be ex-wife, using that excuse to cover up her infidelity. She's right about one thing: we're young. But when we were dating, we were both firm in our intention to get married, since neither of us was interested in casual relationships. I guess I stayed that way, but maybe she changed her mind. Either way, there's not much else to do about it. I just have to deal with the facts. That's the hard part, accepting that I shared a life with this woman, and now it's all ruined because of her. In the past few days, I've tried to keep myself as busy as possible. I've spent a lot of time at work to distract myself, and when I get home, I do chores or just watch TV to drown out my thoughts. Last night, I decided to pack all the things Marcia left behind. I put them in a box, so it would be convenient to hand them over when she shows up next time. Honestly, I was tired of seeing her belongings scattered around. I just didn't want to be reminded that I once shared a life with her, and now it's all collapsed because of her. I don't know when she'll contact me again, but I'm certain our marriage is over. It seems that she never truly valued our marriage, which, ironically, makes it easier for me to detach emotionally. Update 2. It's been 4 days since my last update. 2 days ago, my dad put me in touch with a lawyer, and this morning we filed for divorce. Just like that. Bam, bam, bam. It was a big step, and although I felt miserable doing it, I knew it had to be done. Coincidentally, a couple of hours ago, Marcia showed up unexpectedly. We hadn't spoken since our big fight, after which she left the house, so I was very surprised to see her. When I opened the door, she asked if I was still mad at her, and if I still thought she had cheated on me. She said it as if it were completely impossible for her to have done anything wrong, treating the entire matter as if it were just another common fight that we could easily resolve with a chat. But for me, this wasn't a simple disagreement that could be fixed so easily. Before she could say anything else, I informed her that I had filed for divorce that same morning, and that she would soon receive news about it. She definitely didn't expect that. She was stunned, and didn't say anything for the first few minutes. I took the opportunity to tell her that I had packed a box with her things, and that she could take them and leave if she wanted. After all, I own the house, as I inherited it from my great uncle. Therefore, if anyone had to leave, it would be her. Then she started arguing with me, saying that I was overreacting and that she couldn't believe I had filed for divorce over some stupid fight like this. She said she had come to talk and fix things, but now she wasn't so sure. Because, according to her, I was acting like a crazy person. Apparently, she thinks I'm being irrational. But, in my opinion, I was the only sensible person in this situation. Let's be realistic. Even if we assume she wasn't cheating on me, she suggested we try an open marriage, and that doesn't sit well with me. It only worsened my suspicions. If she still expected me to be here mourning and waiting for her, she was wrong. So I told her there was nothing more to fix because I simply couldn't trust her anymore, even after everything that had happened. The least she could have done was be respectful of our relationship and tell me the truth. But even now, she was acting as if she were completely innocent and trying to manipulate me into believing her behavior was normal and that I was just being paranoid. I told her the way she was acting was disgusting and that I simply didn't want to be with her anymore. I told her it was over. Honestly, I felt a great sense of relief. I thought it would be much harder than it actually was, but oh well. Marcia didn't take it well. She thought I was throwing a tantrum right there on the porch. Not wanting her to embarrass herself or in front of the neighbors, I invited her inside. That's when she started yelling at me even louder, accusing me of being cold, suspicious, and a psychopath, as well as blaming me for ruining her life. I didn't say anything in my defense. I didn't think it was important to defend myself because I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. She was on the defensive and trying to make me look like the villain because, deep down, she knew she had made a mistake and couldn't accept it. So she wanted a scapegoat, and there I was. I simply let her yell until she ran out of energy. Then she collapsed on the couch and started sobbing like a little child. Even though I knew she had been cheating on me, I didn't feel the need to comfort her. But, for some reason, When she noticed that I was just standing there saying nothing while she cried, she started accusing me of being insensitive. She really expected me to sit beside her and comfort her, which didn't make any sense to me because I had literally just filed for divorce against this woman. She's the one who had been dishonest with me for months. I don't understand why she thought I would be nice enough to try to console her. I told her she was being ridiculous and that she had to leave because she was wasting her time with her tantrums. I made it clear that this wouldn't change my decision, so she better leave. Once again, she started acting hysterically and then began insulting me. Up until that point, she hadn't done that, and that's where I finally drew the line. I handed her the box, told her to take it to her car and leave, unless she wanted me to call the police. Honestly, I couldn't deal with this crap anymore. She had put me through enough, and still she refused to be honest with me. There was no reason to keep dealing with her. It was over. But then she refused to leave. She said she had invested enough time and energy in this relationship, and that she wasn't leaving without at least having a civilized conversation with me about everything that had happened. She said I absolutely had to give her a chance to explain herself, that I couldn't treat her like our marriage, and the time we spent together meant nothing to me. I wasn't very willing to do it, but she seemed quite determined. So I told her that if she could act normally and maintain her composure, maybe I would be willing to listen to her, but if not, then I wanted her to leave immediately. She stopped crying, wiped away her tears, and confessed that, in fact, she had been cheating on me. She admitted that she had been trying to manipulate me into believing otherwise, but now she was ready to be honest. She said she really wanted to give our marriage a second chance and that she believed we could fix it. She suggested couples therapy, saying she could cancel the divorce and that we could try to work things out because she had faith in us. She also suggested opening the marriage to do things right for me, so it wouldn't be considered infidelity. It almost moved me to tears with her incredible generosity. I wasn't surprised at all to learn that she had been cheating on me. It was definitely a relief to hear it from her mouth. It was a sort of vindication. But I told her there was absolutely no chance I would give this marriage a second chance. For me, it ended the moment I realized she was having an affair. And the idea of an open marriage just cemented the death of a marriage that was already dead. I told her once again that her coworker could have her. I was no longer interested in couples therapy or anything like that. Therapy is for problems that can be resolved, and this wasn't a problem. It was a conscious decision she made to cheat on me, and then try to manipulate me. Those weren't mistakes. They were conscious decisions. And now she has to deal with the consequences. It's as simple as that. I told her it had taken her quite a while to confess that she had cheated on me. So if she seriously thought she was doing me a favor by telling me the truth that I had already discovered, then she was delusional. I also told her it wasn't her place to decide whether I wanted to give our marriage another chance. She had no moral standing in this situation. It was my decision, and I had already decided that I didn't want to be with her. That's why I filed for divorce this morning. Now she could cry, throw tantrums, or insult me, but it wouldn't change my decision. She wanted a civilized conversation. She had it. Now, she had to leave. This time I was very firm. I made sure she understood that nothing she said would mean anything to me. I stood there for about 5 minutes, then told her it was over. I took out my phone, and when she realized I was about to call the police, she finally left. But not before making a series of comments about how cruel and heartless I was, and how marrying me had been the worst mistake of her life. Stuff like that. If she has that to say, I have to admit I feel relieved that our marriage is officially ending. It's a huge relief, so honestly, she can say whatever she wants. I just feel relieved that I can finally move on with my life. In these past 2 weeks, I think I've had enough drama for a lifetime. Now that she's gone, I think I deserve to celebrate. I'm happy for now. Let's see what the divorce brings, but I'm sure I can handle that too. The worst is behind me. Of that, I'm certain. Update 3. 2 weeks have passed since my last update, and Marcia has already been served with the divorce papers. That was the excuse she used to call me. I had forgotten to block her number, and I was a bit curious about what she had to say, so I ended up answering the call. During the conversation, she tearfully asked if I was sure about this. I told her I was 100% sure. She didn't say anything else after that. She simply hung up. About 15 minutes later, I received a text message from her saying she was very sorry for everything and that I deserved better. She said she was very sorry for disappointing me and added that she still loved me. She also mentioned that she had ended things with her affair partner right after I found out what was going on because she felt guilty about it. I don't know what she hoped to achieve with that, but it definitely didn't make me feel sorry for her. Maybe she thought it would be good for manipulation. The rest of the message was just her repeatedly apologizing. I don't know what I should have said, but in the end, she stated that she would accept all the terms of the divorce because she knew she had probably caused enough damage and didn't want to contribute to more problems by disputing anything. That was the part that really made a difference for me. I had been expecting her to fight tooth and nail, trying to ruin my life even more than she already had. I thought she would try to get revenge, but I guess this is a pleasant surprise. Knowing that I won't have to spend more time on this beyond the bare minimum is reassuring. We just have to wait for the mandatory waiting period required by our state, and then it will all be over. It feels strange to think that, after all this time, she and I won't be married anymore. We'll never speak again, never live together again. But anyway, it's a new beginning for both of us, especially for me, and I hope I can make the most of it. She was right about one thing: we're young. Now that I'll soon be single, I plan to explore who I am and improve as a person. Not the kind of exploration she referred to, fooling around with strangers. For me, romance is off the table for a while, but I'm definitely going to try new things, keep myself distracted, and try to be better in healthy ways. Thank you very much to everyone who commented with support and positivity. It definitely made a difference for me, and I'm grateful for it. Update 6 months have passed since my last update, and now I'm officially divorced. The process was relatively straightforward. I barely had to see Marcia, and when I did, neither of us spoke directly to the other. So everything went quite well. I wouldn't say I've been fantastic, but I'm better than I was when I last posted here. I've started going to therapy on my own, and it helps. It may not seem like much, but it's been a lifesaver for dealing with all this. I've also started writing again, as it used to be one of my favorite hobbies, and I've been posting some things on Instagram. People seem to like it, so I'm thinking of starting a page just for fun. I haven't been on a single date in the past few months, although many friends have tried to introduce me to someone. But I think now I want to be single and just be by myself for a while. Everyone knows exactly why Marcia and I got divorced. I didn't think I needed to hide the truth just to protect her reputation. She brought this upon herself, so I told everyone the truth. Obviously, everyone sided with me over her. I don't know what's going on with her. She has deactivated all her social media accounts and hasn't been active in the past few months, right after our divorce was finalized. I think the last thing I heard was that she had quit her job and was staying with her parents, but that was a few months ago. So things must have changed by now, but I really don't care. Speaking of my in-laws, they tried to get me to change my mind after finding out we were getting divorced. A couple of weeks after my last update, they came to my house and were begging and such. I only asked them one question. Would you expect Marcia to come back to me and try to fix things with me if I had been the one who cheated? That didn't sit well with them, and after that, they blocked me. But I have no regrets. I respected them in the past and got along well with them, but that doesn't mean I was going to sacrifice my dignity and accept Marcia back. Anyway, all that is in the past. I'm looking toward a better future, and I just thought it would be good to post a small update about what I've been doing, so thanks. Update 5. Hello everyone. It's been 3 years since I got divorced, and well, I've been happier than ever. I started dating my new girlfriend about 1.5 years ago, and recently I proposed to her. She said yes, so now we're engaged. We think we'll get married before the year ends. She knows everything about my past and has been very patient, kind, and understanding, as I wanted to take things slowly at first. But yes, I love her, and I couldn't be happier. I really didn't think I would find love again so soon. But well, I met Marcia many years before we started dating, and even so, she betrayed my trust. So, as they say, nothing is certain. But now I feel that if the timing is right, it just is. Besides, when I told her my story, she agreed with me that open relationships are nonsense to sleep around with anyone like a fool. She won me over. Sure, it wasn't just that, but she had a strong opinion against it, which we both agreed on. Why would you want to be in a relationship and sleep with others? For that, just stay single and do all the silly things you need. There's no need to hurt someone else. I'm really happy with her, and I'm looking forward to getting married. I haven't heard from Marcia personally since the divorce, which is fine with me. But I've heard through friends that she has reactivated all her social media, is dating someone new, and has also moved to another state. Good for her. I hope she finds happiness because I no longer hold any grudges. We weren't suited for each other, and somehow it's a good thing that it ended. As for the rest, they're details that no longer matter, but they're part of the things I've learned about Marcia over time. Her relationship with her partner didn't end because she realized the harm she had done to me, but because her lover wasn't willing to continue the relationship more seriously with her. That's why she disappeared after our talk. I guess she thought, if he doesn't want me, my lover will. Does it change anything now? Not at all. But I'll leave it at that. As I said before, I don't hold a grudge. I'd say I'm happy with my life. Update 6. A month ago, I got married, and it's been just over a week since we returned from our honeymoon. Relax. My wife didn't ask for an open marriage during the honeymoon, and I'm not here to talk about that. What mattered happened before my wedding, but I've held off on the drama until now because I wanted to give my full attention to my wife, my wedding, and my honeymoon. My ex wrote to me a few days before my wedding in an email, which surprised me because I had never blocked her phone number. But given the long message, I guess it was easier that way. She talked about many things regarding her current life, things that aren't important. But what was important, at least to you all, is that she asked if I thought there was any chance of giving us another opportunity after all this time. She knew about my wedding because she kept repeating that she noticed I had healed, that I had been able to trust love again, and maybe I could trust her again. She didn't mention if she was in a relationship, which is the last thing I heard about her, or if she was asking for an open relationship again. I haven't responded. I don't want to keep fueling her hopes for something. I guess the fact that I got married gives her the answer. She knows I won't have an open marriage with my wife, and that's the end of any possibility for her. You know, if there's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's that humans are masters at turning a request for freedom into a monumental mess. My ex wanted a flexible marriage, as if it were the invention of the century. What she didn't expect was that I would be so generous as to give her total freedom, and without a return. I even find it funny now, because in the end, the one who needed space was me, since I had to get rid of all her memories and face her hysterical attacks while she tried to deny the obvious. And after this emotional roller coaster, I discovered that nothing brings a couple closer than accusations, tears, and apologies via text, all seasoned with horse-sized doses of manipulation. She swore she was sorry, but let's face it, remorse only looks good in movies. In real life, it looks more like a poorly written Mexican telenovela script. And as much as she tried to convince herself, and maybe me, that we could start over, we both knew it was just a desperate attempt to avoid swiping on Tinder. Today, looking back, I see that I came out ahead. I traded a relationship full of secrets for one where I'm truly loved. And you know what's most ironic? My ex thought I would be the guy who begged for a second chance. Little did she know that I was already busy planning my future, one where she wasn't part of it. In the end, fate decided to be kind and gifted me with someone who truly understands me, and also hates this open relationship trend. See, it was almost poetic.